On a seemingly ordinary evening in Aurora, Colorado, the sun had set, casting long shadows over the quiet suburban neighborhood. The residents, oblivious to the impending horror, were settling in for the night. But inside one unassuming home, a chilling scene was about to unfold that would shock the community to its core. Yun Mi-hoi, a hard-working mother, had just returned home from a long day at work. Her body ached from the day's toil, and all she wanted was a soothing shower before dinner. Downstairs, her husband Ryan Hoi was in the kitchen, the aroma of their evening meal wafting through the house. Little did he know, the tranquility of their domestic routine was about to be shattered forever. Suddenly, the silence of the evening was broken by a thud of stairs, followed by a blood-curdling scream that echoed through the house. Ryan, his heart pounding, rushed upstairs. The bathroom door was slightly ajar. He tried to open the door, but was facing resistance from the other side. The harder he pushed, the harder the door felt. The violence and rage on the other side is something he had never experienced. After a struggle, he loses footing, and the door slams shut. It's locked. He rushes down to call 911, and while on the call with the operator, he hears more thuds from the bathroom upstairs and runs up, only to be met with a sight that would haunt him for the rest of his life. He is shocked to find his wife face down in a pool of blood. Standing over her is his stepdaughter, Isabella Guzman, a knife glinting ominously in her hand. Isabella runs out, and he is left holding the bleeding body of his wife. He holds her as she takes her last breath in his arms. It takes police and paramedics 11 minutes to arrive. Isabella is nowhere to be found. Yun Mi-hoi had been brutally stabbed 151 times. Her face, neck, and body bore the horrific evidence of her daughter's uncontrollable rage. The crime scene was a shocking tableau of violence and betrayal. A mother's life cruelly snuffed out by her own flesh and blood. But who was Isabella Guzman, this seemingly ordinary teenager capable of such extraordinary violence? What led her down this dark path? To understand that, we must delve into her past, into the turbulent waters of her troubled childhood. Isabella Guzman was born in 1995. Her parents divorced when she was just 3 years old, a tumultuous event that would set the stage for her troubled upbringing. She was raised by her mother, Yun Mi-hoi, and her stepfather, Ryan Hoi, but Isabella's early life was far from peaceful. She began exhibiting behavioral issues at a young age, a storm brewing within her that her parents struggled to understand and control. At the tender age of 7, Isabella was sent to live with her biological father, Robert Guzman. Her mother hoped that a change of environment, a father's discipline, might curb her unruly behavior, but this arrangement was short-lived. Isabella's storm refused to be tamed, and she returned to live with her mother and stepfather. Back in her mother's house, the storm within Isabella raged stronger. The relationship between Isabella and her mother was a battlefield, fraught with tension and frequent verbal arguments that escalated into physical altercations. Isabella often resorted to offensive language and even physical violence, a rebellious teenager lashing out at the world. Despite these challenges, Yun Mi-hoi never gave up on her daughter. She sought psychiatric help for Isabella, hoping to find a way to calm the storm within her. But the psychiatrist dismissed her behavior as typical teenage rebellion, a diagnosis that would prove to be a tragic oversight. The day before the crime, an ominous email from Isabella to her mother arrived. It reads, "You will pay." Terrified, Yun Mi-hoi called the police.
911, where is your emergency?
Yes. My daughter needs help.
Do you need
She's 18 years old.
paramedics or an ambulance?
Now, I think she has to be admitted because she hurt herself or she hurt somebody else in the house.
Okay, so she's suicidal and
She's
she
18.
wants to hurt herself?
She's not suicidal, but she was planning. She can be suicidal or she can hurt me or somebody else in the house.
So did she threaten to hurt you, or you're worried she might hurt you?
She threatened to hurt me last night.
Okay.
2 in the morning. And I think she snapped. Her mind is gone, I think.
Did she do anything to herself or you yet?
I don't know about that because she locked herself in the room and she came out. And now she's in the backyard talking to her father.
Okay, so she's in the backyard, so she's not bleeding or doesn't need like a emergency as far as medical goes.
No, not the medical. It's a psychological problem.
So does she have any weapons on her right now?
She has a bat, and not with her in her room.
And what's your
I hate to do this. I'm sorry.
What's your name?
My name?
Yes.
My name is Yuni, Y-U-N-N-I. I'm her mother.
Okay.
Yuni Hoy, H-O-Y.
Okay, okay?
And I'm afraid tonight she's gonna hurt herself or hurt me.
Okay.
She's losing me and she's stabbering and she's saying nonsense.
Okay, did she say how she's gonna hurt herself?
I don't know.
Okay, has she ever tried to hurt herself before or say she wanted to do this before?
She said many times she wanted to kill herself.
Okay. But she's never attempted it yet, right?
I don't know. She might try, but she never say about it to me.
Okay. Uni, I'm gonna go ahead and...
But now she's trying. I'm afraid of my life now.
Right. Well, I'm gonna let you go, but if anything changes, I want you to call me back, okay?
So what are you gonna do?
We're gonna send an officer out to talk to her, and then the officer can request an ambulance, okay?
And then what happened?
They'll transfer her to like a psychiatric hospital,
Okay.
and they'll help her out there, okay? I don't want you to get upset. I mean, you're doing the right thing, okay? I don't want you to regret anything later. I mean, if something bad were to happen, you'd regret that worse, okay?
Yeah, I think this is cool for her.
They arrived at the house that afternoon and spoke with Isabella, warning her that her mother could legally evict her if she didn't start respecting her and following her rules. But the warning fell on deaf ears. The storm within Isabella was about to break free. The next day, Yun Li-hoi was found brutally murdered in her own home. The crime scene was a gruesome testament to the rage that had consumed Isabella. She had stabbed her mother 151 times, with wounds concentrated on her face, neck, and body. The brutality of the crime sent shockwaves through the community, a chilling reminder of the storm that had been brewing within Isabella. In the aftermath of the crime, Isabella vanished into the night. The following day, a call came to the police station about a possible dead body in a car in a parking garage. The body turned out to be Isabella, who was found asleep in the car, still wearing the bloody clothes from the night of the murder. She was arrested and taken into custody, marking the end of her flight from justice, but the beginning of a journey into the labyrinth of her troubled mind. During her interrogation, Isabella exhibited bizarre behavior that baffled the detectives. She claimed to be a 15-year-old girl named Samantha and seemed to be trying to trick the detectives into believing her fabricated identity. She even acted like she didn't know her real father when he came to hug her. Her strange behavior raised questions about her mental state, hinting at the storm that raged within her. At her trial, Isabella pleaded not guilty by reason of insanity. Doctors diagnosed her with schizophrenia and delusions, mental illnesses that could explain her violent behavior and her bizarre actions during the interrogation. The judge accepted her plea, stating, "In this particular case, I am convinced, based on the evidence that I've seen and the information that's been presented in court, that this woman did not know right from wrong, and she could not have acted differently than she did, given the significant schizophrenia and paranoid delusions, audible, visual hallucinations that she was going through." With that statement, the judge announced the verdict, not guilty by reason of insanity. Isabella was sent to the Colorado Mental Health Institute at Pueblo. She spent the next 7 years there, locked away from the world but locked in with her own mind. In 2020, She claimed that her schizophrenia was under control and petitioned for release. However, as of 2023, she remains in the facility, sometimes allowed to leave for therapy sessions while wearing a GPS tracker. Isabella's case took a bizarre turn when footage from her 2013 court hearing resurfaced on the social media platform TikTok. Clips of her smirking at the camera and acting unstable went viral, leading to a strange fanbase that seemed to be more fascinated by her looks than the heinous crime she had committed. This unexpected fame added another layer of complexity to her story, blurring the lines between victim and villain, between mental illness and manipulation. But behind the viral videos and sensational headlines, the reality remains. A woman lost her life in a brutal attack by her own daughter. Yun Mi-hoi was a mother who tried to connect with her troubled daughter, even in the face of escalating hostility and violence. Her tragic end serves as a stark reminder of the devastating impact of untreated mental illness. Yun Mi-hoi was more than just a victim. She was a woman who worked hard to provide for her family. She was a mother who loved her daughter despite the challenges. She was a wife who supported her husband. And she was a friend who was loved by those who knew her. Her life was cruelly cut short, but her memory lives on in the hearts of those who loved her. Isabella Guzman, on the other hand, remains a figure of controversy. To some, she is a cold-blooded killer who brutally murdered her own mother. To others, she is a victim of her own mind, tormented by schizophrenia and delusions. Her story is a chilling reminder of the thin line that separates sanity from insanity, love from hate, and life from death. So, what do you think? Is Isabella Guzman a victim of her own mind, tormented by schizophrenia and delusions? Or is she a cold-blooded killer, capable of manipulating those around her to believe she's mentally ill? We invite you to share your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you found this story intriguing, don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for more shocking true crime stories. Together, we can shed light on these dark tales and perhaps, in doing so, prevent future tragedies. Stay tuned for more, and as always, stay safe.